cash, all like in black? Or?
Yeah. Well, so they say she wears like a black cloak.
Okay.
Yeah.
A black cloak.
Yeah.
Is that something that Miss M was usually wearing?
Yeah, I have a picture of her.
Really?
Yeah.
Of wearing a black cloak.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
I'll post it in the case blog that we post on our website.
Do it.
Yeah. So she was known to wear that.
Okay.
So she saw her. She disappeared.
Was she emo?
Maybe.
Maybe she's a little gothy?
I mean, she's divorced a couple times, so maybe she was depressed.
I just wear all black now.
My heart is black.
My clothes match my soul. Sorry. Once again.
Speculation.
No disrespect.
Okay. So she saw her. She disappeared. And then the president of the club chuckled. And because he noticed like the look on her face.
Okay.
And he said, "Oh, don't worry about her. That's just Mrs. M. Leave her some gin at the bar." And when she, apparently when she returned to work the next day, she claimed that the shot glass she put on the bar was empty.
Okay. So this ghost likes to drink?
I mean...
Who shoots gin? Yeah. I mean, mix up some little tonic and some lime.
Yeah.
We're talking business, but just shooting gin?
No. Gin martini, maybe?
Well, I mean, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe in the I left her a shot and she drank it.
I bet it was the janitor of the evening was like, "Hey,"
or the president's like
a shot.
Or the president of the club's like, "No, just leave her some gin, I promise." And then he goes back
and
later.
He just goes back and drinks some gin. Oh, I totally saw her drink it.
She had a couple of other experiences, but one that really stood out to her was a time when she and a friend were in the bar after closing. And her friend was waiting for her to wrap up her cleaning duties, and there was really nobody else in the club. Suddenly, they could hear piano music playing.
Okay.
All right. So there was a piano in one of the rooms. They rushed into that room. Nobody was there.
So were they hearing like a song, or
it was a few notes?
Okay.
Yeah, it was a few notes.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, that would probably spook me out.
I'd be freaked out. She said that they rushed to close the place up and they left. They were like totally freaked out. Another former bartender told of a situation. One night she was working with 3 patrons in the bar, one of whom was her husband. She was washing dishes and she suddenly felt uneasy. She looked to her left and caught the glimpse of the image of a woman in black walking by. She could hear the sound of her high heels clicking on the wood floor, and her husband, noticing the look of fear in her eyes, looked over and exclaimed, "There she is! The ghost! The woman in black!"
That's such a Scooby-Doo moment.
Right? And I would have gotten away with it too.
It's a ghost!
Jinkies.
It's a ghost. Sorry.
She also shared some experiences of hearing the sound of high heels when no one was in the club or nearby.
Now, is that something that Miss M would often wear? Is like some hot ass high heels?
I mean, I'm sure they weren't hot. I'm sure they were like clunky.
They're probably like, super clunky.
Yeah.
Like just wooden blocks.
Yeah. She just has wood tied to her feet.
Just
that's what I imagine 1920s footwear is like.
Danish wood blocks.
She's wearing clogs.
Just straight clog in it. And all of a sudden I heard the clogs sneaking up behind. Clippity clop, clippity clop.
Well, it is a Norwegian cabin. You don't know.
Shit, I didn't even think of that.
You don't know.
It could be clogs.
Yeah, you have no idea.
They think it's high heels because, like, ooh, high fashion. No, she's rocking clogs.
Because we're in New Mexico and we don't know what the fuck clogs are.
What are clogs? Like clogged my sink? I don't know.
All we know is chanclas. That's it.
And how to duck them.
Yeah, how to dive. Okay, so the same bartender claims that the last experience she had before she left the press club was hearing footsteps coming towards her. She started shaking with fear as the footsteps continued to get closer, and she said, "Mrs. M, you need to relax because you're scaring me." And she said that was the last time that she had any ghostly experiences at the press club.
Okay. All right. I would love to hear if anybody out there, any of our listeners, have had any experiences too, man.
Oh, yeah. Send us your personal stories of the press club, of any ghosts that you might have seen. we'll share them on a mini-sode one day whenever we get some stories to share on a mini-sode. And that'll be fun.
Yeah, please do.
Ghost stories. Give us your ghost stories.
Don't sing.
Why not, motherfucker?
Because you can't.
Yes, I can, bitch. I just did.
I just fucking did. So how do you feel about that?
There are so many people who have claimed to have encounters with Mrs. M, and pretty much they're all similar.
Okay.
They include seeing an image of a woman in black.
Clogs.
Yeah. High heels. Clicking on the old wood floors of the club. And then there are multiple accounts of a phantom piano playing.
Okay. Is that piano still down there?
I don't know.
I wonder if it's maybe it's a mouse.
We'll have to go see. Or maybe like a mouse ran across.
Yeah.
Could have been. It is an old building, so that's possible.
Right.
All in all, Mrs. M seems to be a harmless spirit who was so in love with her home that she couldn't part with it, not even in death.
Yeah.
And I think we heard from Zach, which you guys will hear in a minute, from Horns Paranormal about maybe some other spirits that might be there as well. It sounds like there's a lot of...
This is a place we need to go to.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of experience in the community with some weird stuff happening there.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe we'll go and...
Let's do a live stream there.
Do a video stream, like a Get Vocal or something.
Yeah, or who knows? We'll figure that out when we get to it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, send us your ghost stories about the press club. Let us know what you got going on, and we will be happy to share them. Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. Today we are joined by some special guests from Horns Paranormal. We have Zach and Lydia. Welcome, guys.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Thank you. Yeah, we're excited to talk to you. I know that you guys have done some awesome stuff and some investigations on the places we're going to talk about today. If you don't mind, I'd like to start, if you would give us just a little bit of background on Horns Paranormal, what you guys do, and how you got started.
You got it. Absolutely. Love to. So Horns Paranormal has been around in different forms since about 2000. We started up as kind of a result of, honestly, I had taken a break from the paranormal for a while. I had certain experiences that made me need to take a break. So I took a break and then came back and started Horns back up. And what the name actually stands for is Hauntings and Other Realms Networks, because we are interested in all aspects of the paranormal. So cryptozoology, UFOs, you name it. We study all of that, even though our focus is primarily on hauntings. But we really have had kind of a unique history because we've been able to investigate all over the country. But even here locally in New Mexico, we've been able to gain access to sites that have said no to Ghost Adventures and some of the big TV crews. We've had unique access to local sites, historic landmarks. You know, we've been able to really discover some things on properties that I think we can safely say we're the only ones that have seen it. And it's been fascinating because, you know, we also love the history, right? We love the history of this state and all of these locations. So we do a kind of a great deal of research on every property we go to as well, whether it's pulling police files on residentials that we're investigating. We've even been able to correct the historical record on certain locations in New Mexico where, for instance, one story is attached to a property that actually happened at another property, and we've been able to go back doing our research and say, no, this actually was over here in another part of the state or another part of the county. So it's a fascinating process, and we've had a really, I think, a great time doing it. Just been a blast to be able to get out and see all these wonderful places. Yeah, it's been fantastic. And we have a great team right now. We have about 12 folks on the team, including my teammate here, Lydia, that we stay pretty active. We try to really keep ourselves busy.
That's really cool. I like the fact that you guys dig into the history of whether it's police reports or who owned the building or any of those things. I think that's really, it says a lot about how much you're willing to investigate that. And I respect that for sure.
Got to know the story behind it, right?
Absolutely. Because we, as much as we are pretty much all believers, we do have a couple skeptics on the team, but which I think is important. But even though we are believers, we don't want to make any assumptions, and we don't want to just jump into, a place where we believe everything that we hear, because, things get modified and distorted over time. Not even that people are lying as much as just, how stories go. They evolve on their own.
Yeah.
I'm a skeptic myself. So,
okay.
I think it's important.
Yeah, I'm the believer of the duo.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I think it's a good pairing. Our AV guy is actually our skeptic. And so he's, which I think works out really well because, he'll be the first to say, well, we got this on camera, but it could be this artifact or it could be this, double exposure
Right.
or something else. So it kind of keeps us honest, so to speak. And it makes us, work for it because we want any evidence we find to be something that we can back up scientifically. We're even looking at trying to publish scientific, articles in journals on our findings because we really want to see the paranormal research field become something that's given scientific validity and not just, it's
I
those
love
guys
that.
again.
Yeah, I love that. That's the way to do it for sure.
Absolutely.
Awesome. You guys not only investigate local New Mexico paranormal situations, but you also go into other places in the country as well. Is that what you said?
Yeah, we go all over the country. I've been everywhere from Waverly Hills in Louisville, Kentucky to,
Awesome.
you name it, just about really. And we're actually, our next big investigation's over at a place called the Shamrock Hospital. Shamrock Hospital in Texas. So,
At the Shamrock Hospital, I've been through that town a few times.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I guess it's been sitting abandoned for a while, and we spoke with the owners, and they've reported quite a bit of activity. So we figured we'd go see what we could find.
That's so cool. So anything else you want to say about what you do or any of that before we jump into some of these haunted locations?
Absolutely. I'll just add that, I'm really proud of our team. Like I say, we've been able to do some really unique locations that nobody else has had access to, including the press club. We kind of have a unique access there as well. But I do like to let folks know that if they have anything going on at their home or their business or any other property they may have, they can reach out to us. We have a website and a Facebook page and an Instagram. We have all the social media stuff. But we do our research for free, so we don't charge anybody to come out and investigate their home or try to do a clearing if that needs to happen because we don't feel that that's appropriate. So if anybody does have anything they need some answers to, they can reach out to us anytime.
How would they reach out to you? What's your at?
You got it. So we're at Hornspat, HORNSPAT on Instagram. Or you can find us at www.hornsparanormal.com.
Awesome. I'll put links to your social and your website on the show notes of this as well, just so people can have easy access
Awesome.
directly from their device. So that'll be good. Cool. So today we're talking about two pretty famous hauntings in New Mexico, and they happen to be relatively next door to each other. And so that's exciting that we kind of decided to put those together into one episode. It might end up being a 2-part here, but
I'll add, and I don't mean to, if Lydia wants to add to this, of course, as well. But I want to kind of mention something that's kind of interesting too, and it helps to segue maybe is that, because the facilities were there, the 3 different hospitals, and then their, connectedness to the press club, it's interesting that a lot of kind of important historical figures from the medical field used to visit as well. So, the Mayo brothers who founded the Mayo Clinic were frequent visitors down to the area and things like that as well. So there's an interesting history there, as well as the way that hospital is connected to all of these sort of medical professionals across the country who were coming down to see, what was happening there, to talk about procedures and techniques being used, but also and introduce their own as well, I'm sure. But also a lot of that was to visit Mrs. M over at the press club because the house had become sort of this cultural touchstone in the city as well. So that history is really fascinating as well.
It definitely is history that's interesting and different and kind of outside of the normal of what you would expect in New Mexico. I mean, just even looking at the building itself, it doesn't really fit in with any of the architecture that we have here at all. It stands out like a sore thumb a little bit. And as I was researching the press club and looking into the past of it, it's just really fascinating. The fact that, and I'm probably going to butcher his name, but Whittlesey, is that correct?
I believe it's Whittlesey.
Whittlesey. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not Gonzalez, so I don't know how to pronounce it. So, the fact that he chose like a Norwegian cabin as as his inspiration for building this house. It's just, it really doesn't make sense with the landscape. But it's cool.
It is. It really is. And, he was, it was an interesting thing because he became really sought after as an architect because of that sort of unique flair that he brought to his buildings, right?